just like that. And you soak it nicely. Here we go again with the cream, a bit more cream, and I use a spatula, it comes easier to me. There we are. Just turning it always around so I get it nice and level, and scrape it off again so it's got a nice thin layer of cream on the cake. Now we put the top layer on it. I turn it upside down again. And so now we've got a nice straight cake, and the top of the cake, which was round before, is now straight. And on that top layer now we put raspberry jam. You can just simply scrape that, bit out of the cream, and then you take your raspberry jam or strawberry jam, whatever jam is handy. I find raspberry jam gives it a nicer taste. You put that raspberry jam on and you scrape it again. The raspberry jam seals the top of the cake and doesn't let any crumbs come into your cream, so to speak. Right, that's done. Now we put the cream, which we have got here, around the outside of the cake. If any cherries are sticking out and you're by yourself, you can stick it back in. If your children are around, you can't, because they'll be got hold of it beforehand. Alright, we just put the cream around here like that. And now we've got the cake to a stage which I think you should prepare the cake approximately 1 day or 2 days before you actually use the cake, because when it is at that stage, you should be putting the cake into the fridge and leave it there for about a day at least, and then it will get nice and firm and it will be easy to cut when you actually use it. I put some more cream on top. You do that generally the next day. Then I'll put a nice surface on top here now, like this. You see the raspberry jam does come a little bit up when I make the cake freshly, because it's not set. But when you've got it a day or two in the fridge, then it's nicely set and you won't have that problem. That's the top base, and then you put again the cream around it. Cover it nicely, like this. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a messy job, but it doesn't matter, it's all eatable, so it doesn't really matter that much. Now, you have to divide the cake. It's up to you how many slices you want to cut out of it. Generally, I find a nice afternoon coffee slice is if you cut it into 16 pieces, a large cake like that, and a smaller one into 12 pieces. You can, if you've got a big party, cut it into 20 pieces. I've been known cutting a cake like that into 50 slices, which are really pretty small. So if you cut it into 16 pieces, which is also the easiest, you cut it once like this and quarter it, then you make 8 out of them, and slice of 16. And everybody's happy if they get all equal slices. Now, we have got a cream bake here. You might know other means how to put rosettes on top of the cakes, but I find this one the most comfortable. You have this cream bake, and you have the nozzle on the bottom, like this. And then you put the cream in here. Rub my hands again. Alright. And then you, by whatever means you know best, you squirt the cream out of the bag, just like that, and make nice rosettes on top. The best thing is if you just hold it still, squirt it on, and then you just finish it off with a nice round like that. Like this. And when you do it fast, it just goes like this. Right? we've got it so far. We put the cherries with the pips in it as decoration on top. There's 16 of them now. Just always takes the nicest one. Everybody will appreciate that. Two more. And now the hard part comes where people always ask, how does he get the chocolate on? It's not that hard. You take your chocolate, which you have grated beforehand. You take any kind of chocolate bar, which you can buy in a delicatessen, and you either scrape it with a knife or the bake, which is usually breaking apart. But if you take a potato peeler and you just peel it down like this, and you get nice shavings from it, like this. The best thing is if it's just room temperature, and it's very nice. Pre-shaved the chocolate here already, so I just put first one before I break it up completely. I put it on top. So I've got nice big shavings on top for it. Right. And then what you do, so you can see it there, you take the cake up, and you take the chocolate in your hands, and you just put it simply onto the cake like that. And that's all it's to it. It's much easier than you thought, isn't it? It goes everywhere, but I think you have no shortage of volunteers to pick it up again afterwards. Right, just scrape the chocolate off on the bottom, and there's your Blackforest cake, finished. Here's your Blackforest cake, finished.